Good morning. Welcome to Module 2, and thank you for your good answers in your discussion last week, and you got your first taste of looking at the domains. This week, you're going to be looking at domains 2 and 4, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what you did last week, and some of that will apply to this week also. First of all, we dealt with Carl Rogers, and Carl Rogers is known for being a client-centered therapist, and client-centered is very important to psychosocial rehabilitation. The whole goal is to take each individual and deal with them as an individual, and in doing that you're looking at what that person's specific needs are, and that's exactly what Carl Rogers talks about in his On Becoming a Person and his other later works that he wrote. He's an interesting therapist, interesting from the sense that he brought in a style that is very quiet. He believes in listening and responding with, expressions like, tell me more, I hear what you're saying, how do you feel about that? Things that get the client to talk and not him. He was very comfortable with long silences, feeling that that's what the client responded best to. Now that's a counseling style, and it's not necessarily what you hear in his philosophy of counseling. And I think that there are times when you work with people that it's really important to remember that the person who talks is the person who feels better. And so that would be Carl Rogers' goal in eliciting responses from his client. But probably the thing that I find him to be the most famous for is unconditional positive regard. When you work with somebody, you have to have unconditional positive regard, or don't work with them. You have to be careful with people who do things that you don't approve of and you don't like, and that makes you cast a judgment on them. But if you're going to work with somebody, you've got to take them just like they are for whatever they've done and whatever they represent, and that's not always easy. But you can get a whole lot more from somebody who can be honest with you when you take them exactly like they are. And it's unfortunate that as parents, teachers, as whatever, that we don't practice unconditional positive regard every day in everything that we do. And that doesn't mean you have to accept that behavior as being okay. It means you accept the person as a human being and understand that people can change and that you're going to work with them if that's what they intend to do. And client-centered means that it's what that person wants, not what you want for them, but what they see as what they want for themselves. Be sure you don't send attachments. Attachments are really hard, particularly in discussions, because nobody wants to take the time to go to a desktop and look up your response, then get back online again and try to respond to what you had to say. So for purposes of working on an online class, please submit your responses and things on Blackboard. It'll make it a lot easier for both of us to take care of, and each of you as you get into the discussions. Your discussion answers were really good. I really enjoyed reading them. In terms of the domains, understand that the chapters that you have to read and to do the question on are also related to the subject of the domain that you're dealing with. So this week your domain is going to be domain 2 and domain 4, and a lot of that has to do with the competency-based things that we're talking about with Carl Rogers. So when you interpret it, you're going for the best answer. Some of the things you can look up, because the answers are like, what is the housing authority? And you can do a Google search and find it. You're certainly welcome in this class to use any resources that you find. You can even use each other if you want to. So you'll have an opportunity on the field trip and on the movie night to be able to talk to each other and share, phone numbers or email addresses or whatever you want to do other than just the discussion board that you have in class. And I'll be getting back to you on a date for the movie night. Amazon just sent me an announcement anyway, that Nobody's Child is available for $2.99, and you can even get free shipping. So if you want to purchase it, feel free to do that. Sometimes that's cheaper. $3 is easier than trying to rent it or look for it elsewhere. But you will have the opportunity to see it in person. So I hope you have a good week. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm always glad to hear from you, and I think most of you have found that I do respond as quickly as I possibly can, usually within an hour or so of whatever you send to me, and I will continue to do that. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.